Yeah. Again, I'm sorry, I diverted. Can you please go back to the original question?
I was just asking from forum member Free Spirit about originally you thought you were part of the Galactic Federation under mind control, and
Yeah.
how is it that you knew that you were under mind control, and how is it that you know now that you aren't necessarily under mind control?
Yeah, and that's how I know because, when you go into your heart, there's a resonance there. And when you have a resonance that doesn't match with what your thoughts are and what your feelings that are resulting from those thoughts and those emotions that result from those thoughts, then you realize that there's another program at play. And when I say to people that most of our thoughts are not ours, that's a fact. Most of your thoughts, everyone listening to this, most of your thoughts you're having not even yours. But are you strong enough to actually become aware of that and realize that and have the capacity to live with it? And then start working out which thoughts are yours, which feelings are actually yours, or which are artificially induced emotions and feelings, and which ones are genuinely yours from your heart, from your own authentic essence. So that's what it's all about. So yeah, that's how I know.
Thank you, George. I appreciate your perspective.
George, you mentioned to Mel that 1/3 will be bypassing straight into the fifth dimension, and that the Kundalini experience and the chakras, which are constructs of the fourth dimension, and that would not be needed. Do you think people will need to have mastered themselves in this fourth dimension first, whether this life or a previous life, before they can bypass directly into the fifth dimension during the ascension?
No, we are the masters. We already are masters. We're just finishing up. So we've the ones who already know they're ascending. You just know you've mastered it, and that's not ego. That's just living in a multidimensional state. So we know we're about to ascend. Therefore, we know we've mastered it, and we're just still carrying out our life of servitude or responsibilities or what experiences we need for ourselves, and also role-playing for other people. So we've got to continue to live our experiences out, because it's not just about us. It's when we have those interactions and experiences, we're actually role-playing for other people, and we're helping to teach them as well. So it's many things on many levels. So no, it's automatic. This ascension process, the beauty of it, the genius of it is our light is now activating from within. It's the mustard seed that was planted. It's that Christ consciousness. It's the star seed, that was planted so long ago that we have deep within us, and it's the lotus flower that is now opening. It is happening automatically beyond any egoic concept whatsoever. It's coming from deep within us, and it's happening. It's the part of us that's just unfolding, it is just part of the unfoldment and flowing one with the unfoldment of creation in an organic way. So there's no forcing. You don't have to go to meditation classes or spiritual groups to make it happen. For some people, that's the path they chose to provide the triggers until they get to the understanding where they can just let go and just allow things to unfold and be. Because if you're still meditating and trying to make it happen, you still haven't got to the point where your ego is surrendered. You're still trying to force. You're still trying to make it happen. The idea is to let go and allow your being to come through and allow things to happen. It's a different state. It's a different way of going about it. And so that's my answer to that question.
Thank you. The next question is from Lua.
Okay, thank you. George, this is a question from forum member Human. He has read that 70% of people have now ascended to the fourth dimension, and that this is the reason why the Earth changes have not been more devastating, for the rise in human consciousness has changed our timeline to a more favorable path. Can you confirm this?
We'll see that viewing, it's more favorable, and we've avoided this, that, and that. All these perspectives are from within the drama bubble. And, from a perspective, it is true. It's kind of like, well, I don't know about 70% of all people, because let me put it this way. If you go to the doctor and you have a pill, that's being mechanical 3D, okay? If you go to a healer and you get a healing, that's 4D. If you meditate, that's 4D. And if you're being unconditionally loving, that's 5D and above. So we're kind of like walking between dimensions. Anytime during a day, I'm being 3D, 4D, 5D, and above. So we're living a multi-dimensional existence at the moment. So to make that kind of like specific, you can say, generally speaking, there are large numbers of people in today's world that are overall, they're being more 4D than before. They're being more 4D than they are 3D. And there's more people being 5D all the time. There's more of me. I'm being more 5D each day. Today I'm more 5D than I was yesterday. Occasionally you take a few steps back and you might have to go and hang out with some friends who are really just in the matrix and 3D, so you've got to lower your energy and go so you can relate to them. You know, if they want to talk about football, you try and have a conversation about football or fashion or politics or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's about being able to adjust yourself and adapt to the different frequency spectrums and not think yourself as a single entity that you're now 3D. Oh, now I'm 4D. And so I'm going really, really good and I'm 4D and I'm just 4D and I've got to strive to make it to 5D. No, that's not how it is in reality. The reality is you're expressing 3D aspects of yourself, 4D aspects of yourself, and even 5D and above. And the more you can do that, then you begin to merge more with your higher self and you're bringing more of yourself into this reality, which simultaneously is rising your vibration. So things happen both ways. Not only are you raising your vibration, but you're also being pulled up and at the same time you're bringing more of yourself in. So all these things are happening symbiotically.
Okay, thank you, George. This next question from 4-member space almost looks like it could take up a whole nother interview, but we'll try to squeeze it into one time, okay?
Yeah.
He asks, what is the hierarchy of the dimensions? How many councils are there and what is their purpose? And are the councils in the physical or the ethereal realm? Do you want the first one? What is the hierarchy of the dimensions?
The hierarchy of the dimensions. Well, I do explain it in my model of the universe that I present, and it seems to be a model that the overwhelming majority of life uses in the universe. The fifth dimension that I talk about is really high in vibration. Like I said, it's way beyond these beings who pose as light and ascended masters and angelic realms, and because there are, if you want to call angels, it depends on your definition of what an angel is. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite a generic term, angel. So because there are angelical hierarchies that exist in false light paradigms, synthetic light constructs. So you've got to be careful with these generic terms. So there's no technology in the fifth dimension I speak of. No such thing as technology. Everything's just organic consciousness. So there's no steel, there's no electricity, there's nothing like that up there. So in that level of being. So again, it'll depend on people's concept, because there's ETs turning up saying they're from the eighth dimension, and they're flying in a spaceship. So hello, just because they say they're from the fifth doesn't mean they might be from the fifth in their model, but they're definitely not from the fifth in my model. So and so there's all sorts of councils, and oh my goodness, like how many councils are in my state alone? In every area's got a council. So just to use that as an analogy, please understand how many different every race has its own high council and spiritual councils, and there's so many councils going on out there. Now I think the question is referring to, is there a council of beings that are more the managerial type of realities? Yes. A lot of us belong to these councils in various different galactic realities, because we've all got our own galaxies. We're all planets, stars, and galaxies, by the way. I don't know if I got to that bit. We've already co-created all along the way in this journey in this universe. And so a lot of us belong to these sort of councils, but this galaxy, I'm part of the management team of this galaxy, and that's why I'm here to do what I do. I'm just taking my responsibility and living that out. So it's there's a lot of beings who are incarnate here on this planet who are part of that managerial role, and we've invested a lot of ourselves into manifesting this reality and setting it up and providing an experience for humanity to have this incredible journey. So People are just being turned against this reality and against us, I suppose, because these other entities are so jealous of who and what we are and what we've manifested here and what we're achieving here. So there's a clever game that's being played as well. So there's a lot going on. There's a big drama going on in the cosmos. So, yeah, I would say there's the main group or council of beings who are 12. There's 12 of them. There's also imposter groups who have tried stealing their identities. So it gets confusing on one level, but it's fractals. So we've got 12 strands of DNA. We have 12 planets, main planets in our solar system. And we have the 12 archetypal personalities of the Creator, and that's who these beings are. And that's my understanding of it. So there is a council of 12. That's why you had the 12 apostles. You had Jesus with his 12. You had Mary with her 12, which does not get talked about. Her 12 high priestesses who did the baptizing, by the way, because it's the female that grants access to the power of the true light and consciousness in this reality. She's the one that has she's the gatekeeper and has the final say, which conveniently gets left out, by the way, of just about every religion. So, well, that's reality. Try telling a Christian that, my goodness, they go, they go crazy when you say that the woman grants access to the power here. So that's pretty much it as far as councils go.
Okay, thank you very much.
There are many. There really are many. It'll depend what the person's individual journey is and what affiliations they have with which councils.
Thank you, Laura.
Sorry about that. I just felt more information I need to share about that. You've also got the councils in the dark side of thing that manage things, like I talked about the Council of Seven. So when I knelt before the 6 Lords of Darkness, I was the 7th member and closed the circle. So that's when you know you're in front of the real 6 Lords of Darkness. And one way of knowing. And another one is you've got Lords of Light. So you've got the Great White Brotherhood and Lords of Light and all that sort of business. So they're the ones who are on the positive side of the scales, white, love and light. So, yeah, that's the way that goes as well. There are many councils, but you've got your main groupings, I suppose.
Thank you, George. We've just spoken with George Kavassilas. He's from georgekavassilas.org and our-journey-home.com. Thank you for your time tonight, George. Hope you enjoyed it as we did. If not, bad luck, mate. There is an old Chinese proverb. There is an old Chinese proverb that says, better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. Many people concentrate on the negative and misfortunes in life, but that goes nowhere. Better to shine a light on the darkness, and thank you for being one of many candles to help seekers find their way to the truth. On behalf of Fox and all the members of the WebBot Forum, we thank you, sir. In our tradition, may you and your family have many pies to come.
Oh, thank you very much. And I really just want to express my love and gratitude for having this opportunity. And I thoroughly enjoyed every single one of you in our exchange, and everyone listening. I do wish my whole human family all the love and the best for their journey.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, thanks. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Thank you.
Yep, bye now.